Ian Jury and the Blockheads with Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll from 1977. Ian soldiered on with the effects of polio his entire life. Then he was diagnosed with colorectal cancer in the middle 90s, and he eventually died on March 27, 2000. He was 57. One of the most intimidating things about Johnny Lydon, Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols, is his stare. That stare has served him well in all aspects of his career. Few people are willing to mess with a guy who looks at you like that. And believe me, I've talked to him, and yeah, it's pretty intimidating. But the way his eyes bore into you is really the result of a serious health scare. When he was 7, this would be about 1963, he came down with a serious case of spinal meningitis. He was so sick that he fell into a long delusional coma for 6 full months. He spent an entire year in hospital, missing school and suffering from headaches, nausea, and hallucinations. And every once in a while, he needed spinal taps, which is painful stuff, and other procedures to draw fluid out of his back. The result was a slight curvature of the spine and a peculiarly intense look in his eye. He says that the meningitis did 2 things. 1, it made him very strong and determined, something that served him well in his vocation as a musician. And number 2, he knew he was different and maybe even ugly. But he consciously set out to make ugly beautiful, which was what punk was all about in those days. He was determined not to be a victim of anything. And think about how much that must have informed the music of the Pistols. The third thing involved here is that the meningitis messed up his sinuses. Why do you think he spit at the crowd so much when he was with the Sex Pistols? That was really the after effects of meningitis.